Welcome into our Big Ten Network studios. I'm Kara Lentz here with this week's Big Ten Wrestling Report. All eyes were watching Sunday afternoon when the #1 ranked team Penn State took a visit to Minneapolis, Minnesota for undoubtedly a marquee matchup highlighting the weekend. We're going to take you through some highlights, and the highlight of the day came at 1:57 when Dylan Ness pinned 4th-ranked Dylan Alton of Penn State, not only giving Alton his first loss of the season, but also giving the Gophers a whopping 6 points on the scoreboard. The most anticipated bout was at 174 between Logan Storley and Matt Brown. Storley won by decision, giving Minnesota a 3-point lead. Trailing by 2 points entering the heavyweight, Tony Nelson delivered a victory in his final dual meet in Minneapolis, giving Minnesota a co-championship with Penn State. Northwestern Olympian Jake Herbert is taking some time out of his busy schedule right now to talk some Big Ten wrestling. Let's start, Jake, with the Minnesota-Penn State match that we saw on Sunday. What are your initial impressions from that meet?
I mean, that's one of the matches. I never saw that coming. I thought that was going to be a battle for two in the Big Ten, especially with Michigan, the way that they came back and beat, Minnesota there, and the way that they were just handled by Penn State. I didn't think Minnesota would even have a chance, but boy, did they prove me wrong. Dylan Ness coming through huge with a big fall at 157 over Alton, and then Minnesota also being able to pull the upset at 174 over Matt Brown, defending NCAA runner-up, and then they put it on the line. It came down to the heavyweight match and having a two-time defending NCAA champion, Tony Nelson, as your guys' closer. I'm sure Minnesota felt really great about that match, the way it went down, and I know it left a sour taste with Penn State in their mouth, now having to share the Big Ten title with Minnesota this year.
Yeah, it was Penn State's first loss of the season. They have to quickly readjust, though. They're facing Oklahoma State this weekend, a marquee matchup when you're talking about the national rankings in wrestling.
Oh, yeah, and that's just going to be such a fun match. You're looking at Cal Sanderson's team going up against John Smith's team, arguably two of the better wrestlers to come up through the better part of this decade and the last decade. And both coaches are going to take this match, with a lot of pride and a lot of heat. And I know both teams are going to be fired up, too, because you have a lot of big matchups, which will be the key at the NCAAs. You're already having a rematch of last year's NCAA final at 174 with Chris Perry going up against Matt Brown. And then all the other matchups that are coming up and through there, it's just something that you're going to want to make sure you catch and watch.
Well, we're definitely looking forward to it on this weekend's lineup. Jake, thanks so much for the time.
Thank you, guys.
As the wrestling duel season winds down, Michigan State welcomes Olivet for a Friday afternoon duel, while a top 5 battle can be seen Sunday at 2 p.m. as 5th-ranked Oklahoma State visits the top-ranked Nittany Lions. Both of those can be seen streaming online at video.btn.com. And on Monday, tune in to see the national duels in Columbus, Ohio. The semifinals are at 1, followed by the finals at 4 p.m. Eastern, and that is live on BTN. That's going to do it for this week's Big Ten Wrestling Report. As usual, we encourage you to interact with us via Twitter at BTN Wrestling and using the hashtag B1G Wrestling.